Hello again, everyone. Todd Michael Putnam from Creative Adventure Tables, bringing you another adventure table idea. And this is The Hunt for Dual Jaw and the Tri-Tower Ruins. Dual Jaw and the Tri-Tower Ruins. So the genesis for this basically is simply it's an end boss dragon fight. This is end of the campaign or highlight of the campaign or something like that, where the entire session basically is about an end boss dragon fight. And the idea is, I don't know if you ever watched any of the old movies like Die Hard or anything like that. There's times where like Bruce Willis got to talk to Alan Rickman, who is the bad guy in that movie, because they were both defanged, or they were at the end of the hallway talking to each other or whatever. And it's that opportunity to humanize the villain, so that you can, so that the villain can show their charisma. The villain can show what their reasoning is and how smart they are. But the protagonist and the villain are always defanged or unable to physically get to one another in those moments, and it's designed to heighten the final combat that takes place, because then it's not just a nameless bad guy that gets killed. Alan Rickman's character, I can't remember what he was called, but anyways, he was the smart guy that was blowing up the Nakatomi Tower so that he could steal the $60 billion in bearer bonds, and get away with it because it'll look like he had died. So he had this master plan that was super ingenious for how he was going to get away with it. But he never would have known, you wouldn't know that unless Bruce got to talk to him and get some basic ideas of what's going on. So he realized just how smart the guy that he was fighting was. It wasn't just a nameless bad guy with a gun and some bombs. So the segue from that into this is, if you're going to create an ultimate bad guy fight, if you're going to end up having your end boss mob or a highlight there has to be time for the players to actually get to know the bad guy. Now, ideally, this happens over time, through multiple different scenarios. But if it turns out that it's going to be like you're fighting, for example, in this case, a two-headed dragon, I call him Dual Jaw. It's a two-headed dragon. I apologize, I can't remember where I got him from. I can't remember if he's a Schlieffen toy or where I got him from, but he's a nice, really cool two-headed dragon. So I just call him Dual Jaw because I'm super, creative like that. Haha. Anyway. It's hard to see a dragon where you get the opportunity to talk to them over time. So what you want to do, or one opportunity I should say that you can do, is to make the dragon's lair, where the fight takes place, an open area with lots of obstacles and stuff for the heroes to overcome before they can actually get to the dragon, but that gives them the opportunity to have conversations and talk to him the entire time, so that the dragon has time to mock them, and to brag to them, and to go on their monologue for a moment about how great he is, or why he's taken over this area, or how many adventures he's had before these fools, and that only death awaits them, and so on and so forth, or whatever your dragon happens to want to talk about. But the point being, you have to give time and space in order for that to happen. Because as soon as you put the players within melee or spell range, the combat usually begins. Murder hoboing is a thing, right? So as soon as players have the opportunity to make the attack, they certainly will. So if you put the dragon in a location, let's say if the heroes start down the road over here, if you put the dragon in a location that's higher up, and I understand there are some spells, you can get, extensions for Eldritch Blast that go, 300 yards or 300 feet or whatever the heck it is. And I understand all that. But generally speaking, if you can find where the dragon is out of actual combat range, but within visual range and within auditory range, he can begin talking to them as they're coming down this road. He can begin talking to them and keep talking to them. And like as they come into this section here, he can fly down and sit on top of this tower and begin talking to them and mocking them about what they're doing, or telling them how, of course, they don't stand a chance, or even reverse psychology, how fearless they look, and how sharp their blades are, and how indeed they must be, brave and well skilled to feel that they can hunt, uh, uh, you know, any dragon, let alone, of course, the great and mighty dual jaw or whatever. But it's that interaction, and of course, the players are going to take the bait and want to talk back. If he's hurling insults, if he's asking them questions, if he's asking how strong the cleric's faith is, if he's asking how strong the sword arm is of the leader, how quick is your rogue really? Are you sure you can evade my dragon's breath, etc., and so on and so forth? He's going to use that time. He or she is going to use that time to instill doubt into the heroes and make them question whatever plans they have. Because remember, at this point, they can see how big the dragon is. They can see that he's got two heads, that he's got, that his claws, that of course that he can fly, that he'll have multiple breath weapons or whatever. They can see the nature of the dragon itself and the threat that they are facing. And that's the opportunity that when the DM can use to instill doubt in the players, because they've got this long walk that they're doing all the way around here. They get some conversation, of course, up there. They're coming all the way around. And at this point, the dragon's flying around. Of course, the dragon can just mess with them, too. The dragon might start casting cantrips or different types of spells that just phantasmal force illusions or whatever, just to mess with them. Or you could have minions. Absolutely, you can have minions of different types down below that, a dragon cult could be there and they'd have to fight through the servants or whatever. The dragon could be surrounded by undead who wouldn't, mindless undead who wouldn't take the dragon's treasure, but would serve as guards or whatever. You can always have all kinds of what I call speed bumps before you get to the main show. Okay. And so the reason I built this the way that I did, I built it up in multiple levels because it helps prevent the players from just running straight across to the dragon. They're going to have to go, it's in what I call an open maze, where they're going to have to go around and come up the various flights of stairs. And there could be different keys that they're aware of that would weaken the dragon. For example, there could be a magical tome that's in this building here, and then there could be a prayer book or a different type of magic item that's in this location, a ring or something that they can use that has fire resistance or whatever in it, and more in like the lower and upper levels around here, so that they have to basically do an Easter egg hunt so that they get to their full power by the time they take on the dragon itself. And of course, the dragon can have little skirmishes along the way. When the players come to this location here, he could swoop down and do some attacks to them and then fly away, and then the players are forced to go the rest of the way around. Because it's an open area, because it's an open adventure, the dragon is going to take full use of his ability to fly, and he's going to choose the timing of his attack against the party. So that's the idea behind this, is just to craft your adventures in such a way that you have the time and the space that sometimes your bad guys can have a long and extended dialogue with maybe intersped with moments of brief combat or brief antagonism, physical antagonism, that the players have to contend with, and then they're back to the dialogue and the trudge of trying to get through to where the dragon's actual home is. The fight's going to have to take place up here at some point, because one presumes that the dragon's hoard is kept inside of this building. And so he's not going to want to leave. He's not just going to leave that. If he's made this his lair, then he's going to defend this at all costs at the end. But in the meantime, he's free to fly around and antagonize the heroes at any place along this roadway as they're trying to climb their way up. And it's more likely that they're going to go take the road than it is to try and climb up the side, because obviously if they're climbing up the sides, even if they're able to make the checks, they're completely helpless to the dragon in the moment that they're doing that. And it's all open, so the dragon can see when that happens. So if they want to be able to maintain their defensive postures and protect themselves, they're probably, depending on the level of the players and the gaming system that you're using, they're probably going to want to take the roadway until they can face the dragon in his actual home lair. So that's it for me. That's today's episode. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy these videos, if you're getting anything of value out of them. By the way, this particular set, Monster Fight Club reached out to me. They sometimes use some of my work on the feature on their social media, which I appreciate very much. And they just asked if I had anything new. And I gotta say, I love building with Monster Fight Club. They haven't sent me anything. I'm not being paid to say this. I'm just saying the truth because it is what it is. I really love their scatter terrain. Their trees are fantastic. They're super fast and simple to use. I'm a big fan of Dwarven Forge, and I have the Dwarven Forge trees. I got to be honest with you. Ever since I got the Monster Fight Club trees, I use them more often, even though I readily admit the Dwarven Forge trees have a little bit more detail to them. But you kind of got to assemble them. There's like, for the heights of the trees and whatnot, and it just takes a little bit too long. And you can, and I still get fantastic results with the Monster Fight Club trees. So I love Dwarven Forge. I've used them for all kinds of stuff. You've seen it for sure. So I'm definitely not bashing on them. I'm just saying of the trees that are out there that I've tried, I'm really a fan of the Monster Fight Club trees. I had some of them repainted, different colors. I think they come in blue and they come in, I think, the pink color and the green. I had some repainted orange. I had some repainted orange, actually. That's true. And then I had some repainted this purple color, I think it is. So you can, and they're easy to repaint if you want for different things for that. But Monster Fight Club just has some of the coolest scatter terrain, and scatter terrain is among the easiest terrain to use. It's nowhere near as time consuming as setting up the tile terrain where you're building an entire dungeon out, because you're literally just, okay, I'm throwing a tree here, I'm throwing a bush here, I'm throwing a rock over here, and this is where my pathway is going to be. Whammo, you've got yourself a countryside adventure. Now, obviously, you know me, I have issues, so I took it to the next level, and I'm using my Todd tiles, which are what these guys are right here. They're 3D printed. You can download them from thangs.com. These are also Todd tiles right here. They're 3D printed. Download it from thangs.com. Absolutely free. I don't charge for them. I made it completely available to the community. Print as many as you want. You're not paying me a dime. You're not anything. Just use them to create your adventures with. I specifically had them crafted such that your minis can actually fit on the stairs, so that those are useful that way. So they're 2 inches high. So if you do have either WizKids Warlock tiles or Dwarven Forge or Loon's Dargent Workshops, any of their Path of Osiris or any of the standard tile sets, they'll match up perfectly with them. And I'm going to switch around to behind the scenes real quick just so you can see what it looks like from behind. I've got some 4x4s, I've got some 4x8s, and I just stack them together, and then I put clear plastic plexiglass on top of it, a 24x24, set it up to create the elevations. It's not solid. It doesn't need to be solid under here. I just have to put it around the edges, and it holds it up just fine. And you create those elevations that add excitement to the game and make the kind of stuff that I was talking about, the stories that I was talking about, possible on 3D terrain. Because yes, the dragon can see the players, but there's not a direct route to get to them because of the elevation differences, unless the players are high enough level to fly or whatever the case may be. But that's the idea behind this. Plus, it's just visually interesting. If you just took away all the elevation and put that flat, it would still look great, but it wouldn't look quite as visually interesting and visually dramatic to the eye without the elevation. So that's the Todd tiles. That's these guys right here. Anything that looks like the 4x4s, these corner sections I have right here. So things don't have to look absolutely flat, or 90-degree angles. You put that in, and whammo, it looks a little bit more of a natural effect to it, to give it that feeling. That's the idea. Monster Fight Club, they've got these trees that are right here. They've got various bushes, small and large ones. There's actually 2 different heights for the trees, 2 different canopy styles, and then different colors, of course, that you can get. And these walkways that they just came out with, these are fantastic. I love these things. They're actually a river on the other side. And then on this side here, it's the cobblestone. Man, I love these things. They have both some kind of an acrylic version and like a cloth type version and like a rubbery cloth. I got the rubbery cloth one is way cheaper, and I highly recommend that one. It's perfect for laying that stuff out. In fact, I literally just ordered two more sets of it so that I could create more interesting roadways and stuff. So, anyway, that's it for me. This went on a little longer than I thought that it might, but thank you so much for liking and subscribing. Please let me know what you think of the videos, and I will see you guys next adventure. Take care. Bye.